Prompt is now back in a more flexible, aggressive role rather than playing Heartbeat. He's still IGLing, which is interesting on that flex role, but I'm interested to see how this goes. Villa, here we go. Bands coming out, starting us off will be Orgless. They're on defense. Actually, they're defense first. Start us off on this map. Let's see what they ban out. Is it gonna be Thatcher as per usual? I wonder.
It might be. Wouldn't be surprised. No, it's a Flores. Though, again, a ban that does make sense. We saw him banned earlier on Cafe. I think that's a map where Flores is a little bit more powerful. But overall, Villa's still a good map for Flores. Flores is really good on quite a few maps. Though there are some maps that he does have a massive fall-off on. Jackal as well. Bit of a surprising ban, though we did see Okami last week pick up the Jackal a few times. Or we also saw Orgless pick up the Jackal a few times during their Villa game. So overall, it's a ban that could hurt both parties, but likely lean a little bit more to Orgless. Valkyrie being the second ban, nothing surprising there, Benny. It's Valk.
It's Valkyrie as per usual. Is the last ban going to be a mirror? Is it going to be a Maestro?
I would think so.
What's it going to be here? It's Melusi, actually. You're entirely wrong.
Okay.
It's interesting. Melusi, yeah.
I would put money on it being a mirror ban. I feel offended.
Yeah, Melusi's strong. Like, she's always been strong with those Banshees, but now that you can destroy the Banshees once they open up, it's not nearly as big of a deal. But maybe in the hands of Okami and the way they play on their defense, at least when we get to the defense half, maybe Orgless knows something and don't want to deal with it. Hard to say. But first defense here from the side of Orgless will not actually. Well, nope, it will be AVG. It'll be Trophy and Statue to start us off.
Here's what I will say. Last week, Barring did die and probably ended up losing Orgless. Well, he didn't directly lose Orgless, but this is one of the events that ended up in Orgless losing around against Wichita, where he tried to push up Pantry, saw Melusi do his left, turned to shoot it, missed the shots, and then got swung. So, I imagine that's the exact reason. Barring was just in the comms. He's like, nope, not happening again. Do not want to deal with it, which, to be fair, is something that can happen frequently, especially since the new Melusi change. She does give that crosshair displacement. That's often frustrating to play against. But Benny, my friend, we have a Thatcher in play. No Thatcher ban today. No Hard Reach ban even today.
No,
it's almost like a whole new world has opened up in front of us. A whole new world involving an operator that's been in the game since launch, but still a new world, it feels like.
I should expect every wall to get opened up at this point. So
if it doesn't, I'll be angry.
Well, the interesting thing is that Prod is bringing up the Kaid, even with Thatcher available. So what is the intent here? Of course, maybe just to waste those EMPs anyway, because maybe those EMPs need to be used elsewhere, because of course they're bringing a Jaeger as well, so in the mute too. So maybe you having Prod on those Electro Claws just to waste those EMPs, or the mute whichever will be wasted with those EMPs. Hard to say. But the question is, what are they going to do? How Okami going to approach this defense? Of course, there's a roam downstairs. There is a setup below in dining, and prompted opening windows. Like Lav's already inside of piano. Gotcha's close by inside of living room. This could be the first engagement.
Often we'll see players on Orgless holding these aggressive positions, and instead of falling off, they'll often just hold, fight it out, and even send another body over to do this. Gotcha, he started to rotate away, and then he moved back, aggressing down at the bottom of those main stairs, over by main lobby, main stairs, and Art. And he also has some support up top of Young Alec and Barring holding on top inside of AVG. This is the Orgless we saw against Wichita, and it was so difficult to dismantle from them. Will it be strong enough for Orgless? The first C4 goes out, and thankfully for them, doesn't find anything. The E1D rings out soon after, and as Prompted moves up, narrowly finds the head of one player inside of Aviator Games. It's Young Alec right now, but for the moment, he's gone unnoticed by the attack. Never mind.
Oh, let's trade though. C4, second C4 comes off Money Alec. Young Alec will get that kill, but Exile will refrag him, so a trade. Mute for Azofia. That's debatable. Who works out for. But I will say at least that Gotcha unfortunately couldn't make that C4 work earlier, so there's some wasted utility here and there. Both teams are just kind of duking it out, trying to waste time as possible for the attackers on Okami. So Bartek at least will figure out who's inside a trophy, who's inside a statue, where Wav taking a bit of damage as he walks down the stairs. And is Orgless going to stay downstairs? You know, is Prod going to stay below in C4 for a plant? No, Prod's back upstairs, already inside a statuary, so I believe there's no roam below anymore. There's no people below with the C4 ready for that push. It's just be straight on push into Stoffer Statuary and see if they can get this execute happen, if they get kills.
You do have the Thatcher, so while there is a fair bit of time wasted, and currently the push is incredibly one-dimensional, because you have that Thatcher, you can afford to rotate a bit later on, because you can just open up that wall with one EMP if you're able to time your X-Kairos properly. They've also destroyed that shield, and Prod in the Wichita game got a 3K, playing from that exact same position when he went uncleared by the attack. So far, not only that Thatcher ban coming into play, but Okami doing their due diligence and making this execute on the site a little bit easier despite the low time. But Exile's used his final Thatcher grenade, and that wall is still reinforced. Not only that, but electrified. He's even peeked out. Prod's able to take down one on the entry, but there's sub for the refrag, and WAV to put things in the favor. Tip it a little bit over the scales. Barring, who managed to equalize, he's the only one left, and he's not long for this world either. Raffi, on the new hard breach rule, will find a double kill to end things out, and to give Okami their very first round.
Well, that was a round from Okami that was still, it was expected. Orgless were trying their best to waste time, try to get kills, and pick off Okami as they pushed their way upstairs from that, that north side down to the south side, pushing through Aviator Games, pushing that extension out. There was that first trade with the C4 from the side of Young Alec. He gets a kill, but the C4 gets traded out, though. The C4 from Gotcha, unfortunately, couldn't get any kills and ended up being basically a one-sided attack, sort of. Towards the end, though, I think it was Raffi, another player, was wrapping around into bathroom or through Astro. I don't know where they came from, but they made that pinch happen, and the players, even though Prague got one, he could not trade it back, and it really came down to those gunfights from Okami. They're win those gunfights on the players, and Orgless were just pushing in. So, good job from Okami. Great gunfights in. Now Orgless have lost their first defense. They're going to go to Aviator Games for the second one.
It did really come down to gunfights, but that play by Raffi, as you mentioned, rotating in through bathroom or at least into Astro from somewhere, that was what they needed just to push it over the edge just a little bit. And now moving to Aviator Games. This is a site that, with Thatcher, obviously, should expedite the process overall, and if they're able to make those rotates the same way, could very well go in their favor. AVG is a site that often revolves around rotating to the correct positions. If Okami are opting to take this over from 90 trophy statuary and then move on over, we'll eventually see somebody, likely Raffi, rotate over to study to hold the angle on that side. One question I have in my mind is, are Okami going to opt to clear this roam? Gotcha still down below with the C4. Wasn't him to get the kill last time. It was young Alec with the C4 as well, but the longer he stays down there, it's a bit dangerous to leave him alone.
Well, as you said before, if they go for that straight north to south take, like we've seen from teams, though, I'll say that looks to be not that same. Prompted's already making his way down below main stairs. He's looking towards it, but he'll walk away. He's being drone through the 90, probably towards red stairs, and Gotcha could be the first engagement, running back through Astro stairs. And as I was saying before, though, if they go for this take, though, they seem to have a shield on red, though, as well. On Young Alec playing red, Prompted look maybe to pinch up those stairs and deal with that player on red of Young Alec. Though we'll see what happens exactly so far. Otherwise, there's no real control from the side of Okami so far when it comes to this first minute or so.
No, nothing just yet, but right as we say that, Exile moves on in, catches Gotcha on the rotate back, but Baring's able to capture the head of Exile, put it in his pocket, and rotate back up main. Not cleared, in fact, he'll rotate off, so while the attackers do have main control, it comes at the cost of their Thatcher. Bit problematic overall, especially if they haven't opened up that wall, which honestly, I'm gonna be honest, not quite sure if they have. Hopefully Raffi peeks around the corner and gives us an idea. Look to see. No, they have not. Part of the wall is soft, I do believe. Yes, it is to look in a study, but still, you can't open Vault, can't open anything inside of Aviator Games. They do have the man advantage, but it looks like it's gonna be a round that might very well come down to gunfights once again.
They may not have the walls open, but they have the control they need. If they can circle the site, take control Classical, take control Study. It looks like Raffi's trying to open the wall, but I think there's a mute jammer on the wall. They could try to throw a grenade over that wall into Games and get rid of that mute jammer. WAV here is holding the 90 angle so nobody can push through 90 and rotate through it. And this is kind of the control. Even though they may not have the walls open, they still can take a lot of control. If they can push through, Prague gets aggressive. He needs to get aggressive, but he loses the fight anyway to Prompted. Great job, Prompted. And again, gunfights are really big here from the side of Okami. Young Alec now has to come back, but Prompted goes down to the fire, I believe. I'm not sure what downed him there. Maybe a C4 from Oasis, but no, Oasis still has C4 in his hand, so I have no clue what downed him. Young Alec will finish him off. It's now Swab, Raffi, and some Arctic. It's kind of a one-side push. No walls are open. Can they make this work?
Oh, looks like they very well might. Yes, they will. Raffi's able to clean it up. Okami, 2 rounds in a row. The setup from Orgless, not all too powerful. They have been, Okami, speaking of course, have been so good on those rotates over, Benny. They've just been so good. It wasn't much of a rotate there, I will say. It was mainly just constant pressure on that Study main stairs side. But still, overall, these 2 attacking rounds, it is only 2 rounds in. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but these role changes from Okami, they seem to be working very well so far.
At this point, I think Raffi's like Shaiko, just playing Habana for the gun.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're wrong. I think the Raffi on hard breach might have been a more calculated decision based on his entry stats or based on comfortability in the team, wanting to change things up, get prompted a bit aggressive. But I'm sure Raffi's not complaining about using the Type 89.
Yeah, it's a great gun. It's a great gun. But here we go on to our next defense, and Orgless are just rotating through their defenses, trying to figure out what they can get, what straw they can pull out, because now they're onto kitchen and dining, and so far it seems like Okami are just one up when it comes to the gunfights. They didn't even open any walls. They didn't have any real control from Okami, but they are winning gunfights left and right on that round.
Now, going to round number 3, will it come down to gunfights? Certainly don't want to lose Exile on the Thatcher too early and force yourself into that sort of gunfight-heavy take once again, and clearing out this extension up top. A Thatcher will certainly be helpful. Weren't able to clear out that statue wall last time. It was remained gated and reinforced the entire time. Didn't matter much in the end. Still managed to bypass it, but especially on a site like this, if you want to apply some pressure upstairs, that'd be a good way to go for things. Also, no thermite on this side. Raffi's still keeping with the Hibana. We see a thermite on any site. It's usually this one, but again, that Type 89 might be a bit too enticing for Raffi. He's also enticed by a potential kill.
Gotcha once again playing aggressive on the roam. He's been that one player who's been on the roam solo, just running around. Though this time it looks like he has a Mozzie on his head too. He's got 2 people helping out, and there's the cross. Down goes 1, but unfortunately they cannot get the kill. Actually, down 2. Young Alec will finish up Alec.
Wow.
Will finish Exile. Promptly goes down to Gotcha. There's at least 1 to bring it back, but young Alec gets Raffi as well. And this aggressive play may have been what Orgless needed, since so far these rounds have ended up with gunfights going Okami's way. Why not just expedite those gunfights? Take them in the first minute.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, or 2 villas in a row, this Aviator Games extension, whether it be on Trophy Statuary or on Kitchen, appears to be lethal, and consistently at that for Orgless. A 1v4, and we've just now hit a minute into the round. Subarctic, the World Eater, as CJ called him, the LeBron James of Challenger League. He is in a 1v4, does still have 2 nades in his pocket. He is Yana as well, a good kid overall, and plenty of time to acquire intel, but it's also a 1v4. Subarctic, being the great player he is, sure, it's possible, but it's still unlikely. You have Oasis on the heartbeat scanner constantly beeping and giving intel to his team about Sub's position, and Oasis is looking exactly at this spot with the BP as well. Sub is not exactly unknown in his location. Now that he's destroyed the BP, the Gone 6 ringing out, they'll know he's there. In all likelihood, I imagine this will be an effective tack timeout for Okami.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point to talk about what's going to happen next round is, they're going to figure out what the plan's going to be, and they're going to assume what Orgless going to be next. They're probably going to be Aviator Games or Trophy Statuary, and think about what's going to happen next. Subarctic just looking to pad his stats, but that round, we talk about it, Orgless, that round, we talked about the fact that you said before, it was a lethal extension, and I definitely agree. They expect the gunfight. They take him immediately. They walk into study, and that's kind of what it needs. Oh, there was 1 kill. Subarctic got 1. Hey, he's padding stats, getting those kills he needs to.
Surely he won't clutch it. He is still actively playing, so we'll say that. Then again, Orgless are also actively trying to kill him, so he doesn't really have a choice in that regard. He'll still sit inside a library for the moment. Diffuser control out of his hand, he'll drop down to basement. I imagine to say, hey, if you're going to push me, now you got to come to basement. You can't come to the first floor. He is rotating over, so might see him just send it up pantry. He has spent about a minute and a half just talking with his team, going over things. At this point, he might be like, okay, well, we have some time. We've had some time to talk about things. We're probably good to move on forward. He'll take about 75 HP damage, put down to low HP, and he'll like, and I'm moving back to basement. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to chill. Orgless, they can have their 1. We're prepared to go into round number 4.
Well, keep his 0 death counter for the moment, and yeah, we'll go on to Orgless' next defense, which will probably be Aviator Games or Trophy Statuary. And if they're going to do Trophy Statuary again, I think they had a great start to that round. They wasted a lot of time. They weren't able to get picks and were able to refrag at least 2. But making sure that, if it happened last time, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but making sure people can't flank you. I'm not sure where Raffi came from, but Raffi was pretty much in Astro, had Astro control, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but that can't happen this time.
Certainly a bit, I won't even say a bit more. Obviously, some control over on the side of Astro would help to stop Raffi from pushing in. But then again, there was so much chaos going on the opposite side of the bomb site for Okami applying that pressure to Orgless. Understandable they were a bit distracted.
Yeah.
Raffi just taking advantage of the moment. I can understand Orgless faltering a bit in that respect.
Well, let's see what they do this time. We're on the Trophy Statuary once again. Last time it was Okami, making that south to north take, as you would see, making sure they can clear out that extension. There was a C4 kill from young Alec, traded out right on that second by Prompted. At that point, it was, 4v4 and they push on the site. It was a one-side affair though, because they're pushing in a trophy and statuary without any real, way besides just walking through the doorway. So Rafi and another player comes from bathroom or the Astral Stairs coming behind them, getting those kills when Orgless weren't waiting, expecting it, because so late in the round was it really gave them that round. So let's see what happens this time, as it seems to be the same hold from the side of Orgless. Of course, make sure they have R below. They can electric claw from below, so maybe those... Actually, wonder, so if they put it sword below, does the Thatcher still work depending on what they put it, I guess? Because there is a certain radius, I guess. I don't know what the radius of the EMPs is.
There's a certain radius, but I imagine if the electric claw is electrifying the wall, it's probably within the radius of an EMP grenade.
I assume.
I might be incorrect. It obviously depends on the placement. Let's say if they have an electric claw at the bottom left of the left panel and they Thatcher on the right side, maybe it doesn't, but I still feel like 9 times out of 10, even probably 99 times out of 100, that Thatcher grenade will get that wall no matter where the Cade charge is. Of course, things could be different. Things are a bit different right now for Orgless. They're facing a little bit more pressure early on than they did last time. 2 members on the defense, both on 50 HP. Gotcha and Barring, the 2 members who like to get aggressive on this trophy statuary side. It's only young Alec who is alive on that extension, who is still at full HP, but Gotcha, he's not in Aviator games. He's in Master Bedroom, peeking down inside the hatch and scaring the daylights out of Prompted.
Yeah, they look like they're trying to get aggressive. It almost was a good flank there to understand they're pushing from laundry. And really the big thing is like the Okami this time are droning from below. They are clearing from below. So these players like Barring and Gotcha are in these early engagements and nobody's died yet so far. WAF has a good drone, knows that Barring was there, but so far Barring has already eluded his grasp, eluded his intel, and walked up the main stairs. Prompted gets killed by Prod though. Was that from above? Probably was. Looks like Prod had a little foothold into Dining, gets that kill onto Prompted, and so far they're able to at least destroy Electroclaw though, so they can get this tri-wall open into Trophy compared to last time where Statuary beat.
Thatcher Grenade's much more successful this go around, but is Prod able to land the trick? No, there's the second EMP from Exile. Excellent coordination by Okami, able to open that up despite Prod's best attempts at the Cade trick. Now, I would say, hey, you can use it for another day, but there's nothing you can really Cade at this point, so doesn't really matter all that much in the long run. Do you have a hole for a C4, and that's exactly what Prod will do, but it doesn't find anything. Sends out. We'll just dissuade Okami a little bit, be like, all right, hold up, let's give it a couple seconds to let the air clear, then we can start pushing on back in. But for Okami, in terms of what they're acquiring, angles on the side, clearing out utility, they were able to clear out utility last time, but now they have so many more angles at their disposal. If they were able to get a win with less, more should certainly be in their favor, and now they've equalized the man count as well.
Definitely big. I definitely agree. More angles are better for his team. Gotcha killed by Exile inside of Bedroom. They're pushing him into Astro now, having from Bathroom. And it looks like Oasis has an angle on somebody's foot coming Astro Stairs. Grenade comes out to deal with anybody more in Astro, but that person's already gone. Wav gets Barring too. So now the Oasis and Prod, and the control is big. Prod's trying to frag out. He does frag out. He has Rafi and Wav. But he's got to find 2 more. Sabartic and Exile have Astro control, but the diffuser is in the hands of Prod. Oasis is waiting, but if they could pinch out Prod inside the bedroom by himself, Oasis though, he has Exile. Sabartic wins the fight against Prod. 1-for-1 fights go both ways, and now it's a 1v1. Oasis is a shotgun in his hand. Sabartic has no clue where he is. Doesn't know he's in the corner, and shotgun right in the back of the head.
Well, Okami banned one Prod map in Cafe, but they didn't ban the other Prod map. That is Villa. And Prod just made them pay for it. A triple on that round. A 2K, I believe, swinging bricks into Master Bedroom. We saw that exact same play against Wichita, by the way. Prod just swinging bricks and killing 2 people. And the same thing happened. A round that seemed to be going Wichita's way ended up going against them because of a play initiated by Prod. Okami, exact same thing. They opened that wall. They were working their way into Bathroom, into Astro as well. They were doing everything they needed. But Prod, who instead of rotating off, continued playing aggressive on that wall, as not only him but Orgless tend to do, got those 2 kills, caught Okami off guard, and they were on 1 foot at that point, and they tumbled pretty soon after.
Definitely agree there. It was a close one too. It was a 4v2, I think, at one point too, and Prod just made that a 2v2. And Oasis playing, just sitting there waiting. Gets a kill on Exile as well, making a 1v2. Huge for them to play that way they did. And I guess in the end, Intel is hard for attacking teams when it comes to those dying seconds. Especially when you have that tumble right at the end there when it comes to Prod getting a 2K. So Unfortunate for Okami. Great job on the Orgless. We go on to the next defense, back to Aviator in games. A tied game for the moment. And Orgless are getting more and more aggressive. They're trying to figure out how Okami plays so they can stop them from, taking control as they've done so far. Gotcha, waiting for an angle, trying to get somebody, coming up these, maybe up these into this balcony, but nobody's there for the moment.
Nobody just yet, and everybody on the side of Okami is pushing from this study side. The exact same take they had once again. There was a bit of a snafu on the entry. They lost one body early on, but they quickly managed to bring it back and ended up not losing many bodies after that. He was barring on main stairs, who was not cleared, who did put the man count 4-4 just for a second, and it appears that Okami are giving him a little bit more focus. They'll put a drone on main. Prompted even was looking like he was starting to make his way over to clear him out, but instead he'll move to Art inside of Piano as well, and they'll leave barring alone for the time being.
I think last time this happened too, where Prompted was trying to make sure Red Stairs was clear, because I think Young Alec was playing Red Stairs last time, but I don't know if he's playing it this time. Looks like Young Alec's on site this time, so... Actually, no, where is Young Alec? Actually, no, Young Alec's on main stairs. I'm crazy.
He's on Red.
He's on Red Stairs. I'm crazy. He's on Red Stairs, waiting for it. So he's there once again, and Barnes getting joined out once again, so they're definitely focusing on the same places. But whether or not can they get that control like they had last time, because they had to control Classical, they had to control Study. It was a lot more control in the hands of Okami last time around, and I wonder if Orgless is going to afford that them again like last time.
Well, so far, the only thing Okami have afforded Orgless is one Yana clone as they finally rotated over, and up here, they want to take that main stairs control away from barring. A minute 30 in, nobody on Orgless has felt really any pressure or the need to rotate off, and even if they don't rotate off when they're under pressure, when you're not applying pressure, they certainly will not rotate off, but barring may have overstayed his welcome on that one. A C4 lands directly in his lap, just as the C4 flies over the corpse of his teammate and finds a kill for Okami. The second follows soon after, but it's a down on the WAV, not finished off just yet. And now Okami, they've completely retreated. With WAV down, finally finished off by Prod, that main stairs control they had is a shadow of its former self. Exile's finally rotated up, regained it, and since him and Rafi are both still alive on the Thatcher and the hard breach, he can start to open these walls, but will it be tricked by the Cade? If that does, that could be huge to allow for control and bar, but no, it doesn't. The timing just a millisecond too late. So while Okami, they have those angles, they're in the man disadvantage. It appears the execute is coming at any moment.
I would say at least this time, so Orioles don't have the same, or Okami don't have the same control as they had the last time they played this site, but they're able to open up the walls, able to try and push out Oasis from the back of Bar. Good intel where he is. Subarctic looking to maybe even grenade him from below, but Alec running red, he's able to deny any kind of rotation from Okami. Exile trying to, create a two-pronged attack there, but unfortunately was caught out by Young Alec, who's just playing like there. Gotcha takes bit there from the grenade. Rafi peeking through, does find the head of Oasis. So that player on site's now dead, but Prod playing 90 dies one. Young Alec comes back red stairs to finish off the other, and Orgless will take their third round.
A little bit of lack of intel coming to bite Okami on that one. They obviously stalled out a little bit on those main stairs, but quickly dealt with it. But that C4 from Gotcha and then the down on the WAV, that stalled them out heavily. They felt the need to rotate back and start trying to gather their thoughts and come up with another plan or how to push on forward with the previous one, with the new situation they found themselves in. But Young Alec was on red stairs the entire round. And nobody droned him out. Or if they did, they expected him to rotate off, and this is Young Alec we're talking about. He didn't rotate against Wichita. He's not going to rotate against you. If he's not rotating against the Stage 1 champions, I'm sorry, Okami. He's staying there. He's playing that position, especially since he felt no pressure. No drones came in. He stayed in that spot. What could have been a great rotation by Exile, or even a great pick onto Young Alec, just didn't manifest in anything. Since he didn't have that intel, Young Alec takes you down, and all you have is a 2v4 push on through Study. And taking gunfights on the site in the final 30 seconds, it went Okami's way the first 2 rounds, certainly not gone their way in the next 3.
Yeah, we saw some great gunplay that gave them those thirsty rounds, but Orgless stuff seemed to wisen up. They changed up their strats, and they're definitely understanding how to play this more as they go along. We go into the last defense here from Orgless. We go on to Dining and Kitchen once more, which last time was a big win from Orgless. They played that a very aggressive Study compared to before. They had people playing in main hall, people playing Study, or not Study, inside Aviator, waiting for the cross. Now they got 2 kills, got 3 kills, at 4, and they denied that intake entirely from Okami.
So far, Okami going for the same Study-sided take that was quickly dropped and erased by Orgless on their defense, but nobody's extending too heavily just yet. But Gotcha and Young Alec, they're rotating over, so we can expect something similar. And something I think was a little unexpected by Okami, An opening pick, a peek by Oasis onto Exile, who was playing that Thatcher. He's moved to the Ash, and likely that aggression that we could have seen from Exile, not going to happen now that he's on cam duty.
I don't know how they knew he was there, but they great pre-fire from the side of Oasis. That was a common entry point we've seen before from many other players from Okami. Wab before entry that same place into piano quickly. So oh no, Prod trying to get away gets caught on the drop down by Wav. So Wav gets that cross, able to pinch out and they push him out of living room down below, and Wav was waiting for it inside one of those barrels. Great shot from Wav, great job from Okami to just even this up. And so far, that vertical play, or at least that that roam clear they had last time, they're not really playing for this time. More going for horizontal clear so far. No vertical pressure so far from the time of Okami, but that does allow for Orgless now to play above, and that could bite Okami in the butt.
Well, not only that, but you also have Oasis on the pulse, who was using a lot of his heartbeat scanner laterally last time. Then again, we only saw it when it worked down to a 1v4, and he was just trying to find subarctic on the horizontal. But look, right there. He's not really focused too much on the vertical. Oh, maybe he should have. Wab manages to drop down and find him as Gotcha drops down and finds Raffi. Diffuser dropped inside of Library, but Prompted is there at arm's length for the trade to revenge his fallen brother. Barring and Young Alec, the only two left on the site. One, Young Alec was above, but he's rotated back down, and he's rotating outside. Catches Wav mid-reload. He's able to swing out and make this a 2v2. Barring will exchange some shots with Prompted inside of Memorial, but he's playing close to the shotgun. Now that Young Alec has domed Subarctic, that's all he needs to do. Prompted is rotated over, does have full utility and some concussions to try to gain whatever bit of intel he can. It doesn't find anything. It goes wide, and Young Alec, he's not going wide at all. His shots are landing, and he's giving Orgless a 4-2 half.
Oh, nice job to Orgless, and that was a much better start there from the side of Okami. Well, I say that, never mind, it wasn't actually, because Oasis kills Exile in the first 5 seconds as he walks in the piano.
Not a great start.
Not a great start, but they're able to get the refrag after that. They would get another kill too, but there was trades going back and forth. Both teams, like where you saw Gotcha dropping there, there are teams going back and forth in fights, but there was aggression from Orgless where Okami didn't expect it, which gave them those kills that they needed to get that round out, especially with Young Alec playing aggressive right there inside of Laundry. You wouldn't expect it, and that's kind of what gives them edge in these rounds. So big thing from the side of Orgless, they give them the 4-2 half. And now we go on to the defense of Okami, and we'll see something different here. We're going upstairs to Aviator Games, and we see Chanka on the board. Chanka so far hasn't been the best. He always was theorized to be powerful, but so far we've yet to see that really manifest.
Tachanka is not a pick we see all too often, but since the changes to smoke on a side like Aviator Games, where if you really want to smoke, you can either play on vault, go prone, throw it up at the ceiling, or play behind bar and try and throw it all the way across both bomb sites. Tachanka might be a little bit more direct, but either way, it's still a little bit finicky sometimes with the Shumika launcher and those toxic canisters as well. But it certainly is a different method to time wasting, especially in the later half of the round, than smoke. Do you have those 10 flame pellets? Benny, I can't remember. What is the exact time on those pellets? I can't remember. I know he's got 10 of them. So.
5 seconds? I think it's 14
now, I thought it was 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's 5 seconds. I think he's going to have 14 of them.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. 4 already.
Not yet. I don't think
that shows his reserve.
No, yeah, it's 5 seconds. He has 10 right now, but he'll have 14 next patch if that goes through, which is a lot.
Yeah, I can't even count that high.
Yeah, that's 5 times 14. Who can do the math? I can't.
I can't. That's Harrison's job. He's the math guy.
Crow, where you at? Come on, give us the math now. But anyway, we'll see them play upstairs, and we'll see exactly how Orgless plays. Because so far we saw Okami do 2 plays where, that one time they go for that north to south take, next time they go for this main stairs push, and so far it looks like they're going for main stairs push for the moment. But Exile's there, ready and waiting to try and deny it. Though the Gemini player will see who's on top of those main stairs and how is Orgless going to deal with this. Looks like they have people on study balcony, though there probably is somebody waiting at the soft wall, of course, to try and deny them pushing into study, and Exile with that Shumika launcher, we try and deny them for as long as possible, walk up maybe it's theirs.
I really like that play by Exile, able to deny or put fire at the bottom of main stairs, waste time for people pushing up to aid Wav, not only on the play there, but to rotate off as well. Really smart play, and I like that a lot from the Tachanka, at least on their side. Only wastes a minute, and Young Alec quickly seeing that main stairs is vacate, will rotate up, blow up the Goyo shield, and take that map control for Orgless. And there's also a player down below. Raffi, who was on hard breach on the attack, wants to get aggressive on the defense, but he's punished by Young Alec. A drone on his position, they knew exactly where he was, and that C4 potential impact completely nullified by Orgless.
I love he was being followed by a drone pretty much. It was just
they were on the prowl.
Yeah, it was just
not letting him get away with that
movement. But here so far, last time for Okami, big thing was the fact that they needed to take control. They didn't have much control in that last round they attacked the site, and they had to try and pinch, try to create a different, angle on their attack. You know, saw Exile try over stairs last time late and caught him caught off guard when young Alec was still playing it. So what is Orgless to do here? I wonder how much control can they really take. Can they get control 90 at least? If they can take control 90, open some of these walls, this could be very much. But there's also Jaeger, WAV trying to take control, retake control 90. But of course, on the windows, young Alec who's holding it off, making sure nobody can re-aggress.
Young Alec is on 1 HP, then again, Wav is also on low HP, so the gunfight likely wouldn't go his way, but if he was able to land a pre-fire, might have worked. But now Okami, they're on the back foot, especially now with Wav off the board. It's a 2v5 at the moment. Two members of Orgless are on low HP, but young Alec or Gotcha, they were put there early on. Since then, they have not suffered a single inkling of damage. Changed now that Prod's caught off, meleeing the barbed wire. Barring on the push-in, he wraps it up. Ties it up in a nice, neat little bow. They might have started to make some mistakes, might have lost one body early on, but it was all coming up Orgless the moment they got the map control they wanted.
Yeah, big thing from that round is the fact that, like, we talked about having that two-pronged approach in young Alec. Unfortunately, you know, compared to Exile, he was able to take control of red stairs, able to make that approach happen. So Subartic at the point, even he got that kill on the player of Nomad playing, you know, Aviator Door, he gets immediately refragged because somebody's playing Skull at that very moment. So I would say Orgless had a much better time. You know, it's similar to how Okami when they first started Aviator games, they're able to take control of a much around the site, you know, deny 90, take control of around the site and make that play happen, which is what exactly Orgless did this time.
And obviously, literally, this is going to sound stupid. Like, I was going to say that's as close to a flawless round as you can get, which obviously you only lost one guy. That is, at least numerically speaking, the closest to a flawless round you can get. But I mean, overall, in the play from Orgless, the only guy they lost was on sub just swinging a doorway and managing to land a pre-fire. Beyond that, there weren't really any mistakes overall, it seemed, from Orgless overall, or at least any ones that amounted to much or that were capitalized by Okami. Their main stairs hold was solid, but the moment they rotated off Okami, they just didn't have enough to answer back against Orgless, dismantling everything on the site. Now, as we can see right now, timeout is about to end, so if you want to take a look, we're not going to Aviator Games. We're going to a new site. We're going to Trophy Statuary for our second bomb site from Okami.
Yeah, I was there. I like the, you know, the innovation, trying to bring Tachanka, trying to play him differently. They're trying to use Tachanka to waste time on the main stairs because of how strong, you know, can take control is. But my question is, how much time did they really waste having Tachanka there? Was it really helpful to back off that early? There still was like 2 minutes left when they backed off main stairs. It's hard to say, you know. I think they lost. They had their ADS burned out, so they didn't want to get fragged out on that main stairs, which you still could do, even though you're burning the bottom of main stairs. So hard to say, know exactly why. But we're going to Trophy and Statuary. We see an alibi once again from the side of Raffi this time, actually.
Well, actually, I would say it's not uncommon for us to see an alibi on Villa, but it kind of is. The only team we really see bring an alibi on Villa consistently in some strats was Parabellum, where we saw they'd place a shield on the bed and have Penguin play behind there. Doubt we'll see that. I imagine Raffi just wanted to get aggressive, bring that deployable shield. They don't want to play the smoke or the frost or the echo, so that they want Raffi, who was obviously getting aggressive with the Mozzie last time, to also bring a deployable shield for the team on the site. Also have the Legion of Subarctic, who's able to put out some glue mines. So a lot of flexibility in this lineup right here. You obviously have some strong on-site play in the hands of Prompted and Exile, but also some potential for Rome. Maybe not directly in terms of utility, but at least for the likes of a Legion, Alibi, and a Jaeger. A lot of options. If you want to play on the site, you certainly can. If you want to get aggressive, you got the kit to do it as well.
I think I just saw Wav get aggressive, actually. Because he jumped out bathroom window, tried to find somebody, but nobody will be there. He jumped out bathroom window, looked for somebody out that balcony, spawning by fountains, but nobody's there for the moment. I saw Exile as well, peeking out that skull window. Couldn't find anybody either. Subarctic is playing aggressive. He has nobody with him, though. So this could be an easy approach if they figure out where Subarctic is. But if Arco going aggressive, he takes out a T5, does no damage to the opponent of young Alec, and he'll back off, open up that hatch, and he's going to run away with, you know, more than half his HP gone.
Subarctic managing to make it away from the engagement, keep generating those goo mines, of which he has 3 in his pocket, so he can just start layering them down wherever he wants on the side of Aviator Games or inside of Trophy Statuary as well. And we will see Raffi, by the way, playing inside of Master Bedroom with that alibi. Don't know if he has the deployable shield on the bed, but he is at the very least playing inside of Master Bedroom. So a little bit of a difference. No, he does not have the deployable shield, but he is channeling a little bit of Penguin by playing inside of the bedroom. But since nobody's directly contesting the Aviator game side of things, Orgless can just walk in essentially for free, and knowing how aggressive they get, if they're given this bit of map control, I imagine it's not going to be too long before they're knocking and opening the door to the site.
Yeah, I wonder what the intent is. Looks like there are players from Orgless going downstairs. So I wonder if they're going to try and, you know, open up this, you know, get rid of the electrical from below. Though they have a Thatcher available, though, so they could also just, you know, EMP it. But maybe they're expecting maybe an electrical trick like we saw from Prod on Orgless defense. So Prod outside of the board window, throw a grenade in to try and destroy some utility. Will not get anybody, looks like, or anything. I don't know what that grenade was for exactly. Maybe it was for a Maestro cam on the board wall, but Young Alec with the first pick on Exile, starting us off, getting rid of one player inside a trophy. Subarctic will try and take his place and stay in trophy as long as he can.
Some concussions coming out, likely will stun. Yup, stun Subarctic, who's forced to rotate down, but there's a player watching that exact position, but he doesn't swing. He actually lets him gets away, and oh, there we go. Finally finished off. I thought it was Young Alec who finished him up. Instead, it's Gotcha and Young Alec to make things a 2v5. Wav will swing down, able to stop the push from Astro. They do still have one player on Repel, but if Prod dies here, Okami could feel a little bit emboldened to make the push and try and deny the plant from Oasis, but that time has come and gone. The bomb is down. It's a 2v4 post plant. Wav is trying to rotate up red. He manages to catch Oasis on the rotate to that very same position, and now Barring and Prod are both on low HP. Barring has fallen. Is it going to be another 2v4 clutch on Trophy Statuary? Not if Young Alec has anything to say about it. Wav will run in, hard pings on the Giannis position, but just as he swings, Wav looks the complete opposite way. It's match point for Orgless. They went 2 for 4 against Wichita Wolves on their attacking side. This looks like a much, much, much more lethal attack from Orgless on Villa this go around.
Yep, Orgless now a match point. But let's talk about last round, though. I would say a big part of that was the fact that it was a pretty one-sided affair, but they get that first pick in Exile playing a trophy, so another player has to push in there. But the concussions, you expect them to push in after the concussion, so that means the last player who was in trophy, which was Subarctic, he goes, I'm going to dump off because I'm not going to get pushed by another player. Try to keep the man count similar at least. So he pushes off of trophy, jumps down into the courtyard, but then Gotcha playing Bicycle, ready for that drop, expecting it, gets the kill, and the Wav is at least playing Astro, or playing Astro Stairs. Raffi at that point was the only one left as well inside the bedroom. They're split off. So that gives all the control to Orgless to make the play happen, push in the trophy, and get that plant off. So really big props to Orgless to get those kills. Even though they didn't have the wall open inside of bedroom, they were still able to get the kills needed on site and make the two other players who were not even really off site, but just slightly off by site, unable to make it back to site.
Now we're in a situation where Okami, they've not found a single bit of success on their defense so far. They defended AVG. It was pretty much a flawless round, or damn near close by Orgless. And it got a bit closer last time, but it was Okami in the end only getting impactless frags that Orgless... Sure, they lost a couple bodies, but they still had everything at their disposal to make that round work. So when you have to ask yourself in your Okami's position, what are we to do? AVG, they had that Tachanka hold on main. They've rotated Exile to the Wamai. They're holding this more so focused on projectiles and the denial that Tachanka brings. They could try and play off site, which they will. Subarctic and Raffi both with C4s, Wav down below for support. But if Orgless play just as aggressive as they did, this row might not be long for this world.
I think too as well, especially with Thatcher available. I wonder how easy it is to get rid of all those ADSs and disc on the main stairs. But I say that it doesn't seem like Orgless are going for that same take. They're not even going to go for it. Raffi holding an angle on this bedroom kill whip. Info they'll figure it out by that German replicator. And somebody playing on board as well. So Arctic backs off too. Wav is playing downstairs. He's playing all the way in the basement. Raffi joins him. So this could be this set up for an aggressive play and a flank once they take control of Master's bedroom and Astro for the side of these two players from Okami. And that could be that aggression you need to try and cause chaos for Orgless because they've been playing so structured, so well together on these takes. Young Alec getting drone downstairs, getting Raffi shooting these drones, not letting one be behind his heels like that one time on the same site.
Could be what Okami need to succeed. Orgless trying to play into their own. There is still Wav inside a basement just ratting out down below. If those C4s are able to work from Okami, could be big once Orgless start rotating up top to take control. But so far, Orgless, they've spent a minute 20 seconds, but they've managed to push their own pretty much all the way back. You still have Wav doing his thing over on the other side of the map, but that's just one player. You can isolate them. If you have structure, you could easily put up those flank drones and watch out for his position. They might not have the intel on Raffi playing main door. Young Alec will maybe misdrawn him. Oh, yes, he's not been spotted. Raffi, he surely has this one.
I don't know. Oh, he shoots a drone, though. Well, they notice that he shot the drone as he's playing it, but nobody's going downstairs for the moment, so there could be a C4 that could end the round right here, or at least maybe pivot the round if it goes sideways. Hard to say. Looks like they take control of red stairs, too, so they're trying to wait for Wav to flank, because Wav is still playing the bottom of red, and, of course, Zofia barring on the red stairs, waiting for that flank. Otherwise, what other push is Orgless done? It's coming down to the last minute, and Orgless seem to be really caught up in trying to deny these roamers.
They might very well just work. There is only 2, but if they don't have anybody watching Raffi, he's the one with the C4. He's the one who could certainly have more impact from WAV with much, much less risk. He'll even rotate down to the spot below default. They have holes made just below vault to watch for this exact situation. He's able to land the C4 onto young Alec, the main entry into the site, who went so well last week and is doing so well so far. He's gone. You don't have that same entry. Barring as well, the other main aggressive player. He's now fallen. It's a 3v5. Prompted with the second C4. Flies over to deny the plant. Okami, they'll stave off defeat for just another round, unless Gotcha and Prod have something to say about it. And it looks like mum's the word from Orgless, as Okami will move up 6-3. They flawless their first one, but now they need to win 3 more in a row, and hopefully in that same fashion.
What a big round from the side of Okami, and that was probably what they needed. They had a ghost round pretty much. Orgless spent minutes trying to find WAV and Raffi with no avail. Raffi, in the end, was still able to aggress inside the piano, get that C4 off onto Alec, who's playing red. So now, he was playing right outside Skull. And now at that point, that allows for, now Orgless have to really figure out what is the play going to be. And they still have, WAV playing round 2. WAV flanks in the end to get that kill. The players on site C4ing the person planting with Oasis. Still really big from Okami to not only waste time with that roam, get the C4 kills, the indirect kills to deny the plants, and really deny Orgless from taking any real control and having a real execute in the end.
Also see an interesting 6-pick from the side of Gotcha, moving from the Thatcher to the Sledge. You do have that set of nades, but it will be a little bit more difficult to open up this site. Now, there is only a mute, so it shouldn't be too difficult overall. It's just a mute device, honestly. Solely using a Thatcher for that, you should be okay with just a mute device on that wall, but it will make things a little bit more difficult if Okami are able to stall things out across the site, whether it be laterally, pushing into Aviator games, or whether it be down below, pushing into kitchen and dining. Really just depends on how Orgless opt to take it and what kind of roam they play into. The moment it appears to be the former, moving into Aviator and games, and with Exile, able to put these mute devices staggered across the site, should make gathering intel and should make time a bit of a difficult commodity for Orgless to spend.
That could be the play, making it difficult intel-wise for Orgless, making them have to work for these, these territories, to make them work for this roam clear, because so far they've been pretty quick on it. But if they keep having this theme of wasting time and wasting intel, that could be what they need against Orgless. That is the big, the big thing in Siege is intel. Intel is probably the biggest commodity in Siege that you need. So let's see if they can go through with it. As Subarctic and WAV are playing below once more. They're the duo actually, no, duo is Raffi and WAV. That's the Subarctic and WAV. Different WAV duo, but still a duo nonetheless that could waste all the time they need. Baron takes a lot of damage and aggressive. Oh no! The air jab goes off on Pantry Stairs, and Baron gets a bastard to finish off WAV. Oh, Lord, unfortunate.
So WAV's taken out early on. The one playing inside a basement the entire time last round, who went for a late flank on red. Not a factor here. Baron went and hunted him down early on in the air jab, just adding insult to injury at that point. WAV's chances were all but, well, actually, they were pretty much 0 at that point. I was going to say all but 0, but that would imply he had a chance. Of which, the moment he hit that air jab, he did not. For Orgless, they are not opting to clear that roam on the Aviator Games side. They are going for that kitchen and memorial clear down below. You also have some pressure up top. While Raffi can relay intel, it won't really do all that much to stop Orgless from clearing out this intel, or sorry, clearing out this utility on the site. With Barring down below, able to destroy that mute jammer. This statue wall, not too hard for Orgless to clear, and that's the angles, or one of the main angles they need. The moment they rotate Astro, they're in a good spot for an execute.
Oh, they have those long sight lights now onto members in Trophy. Probably the next step will be taking control of Astro, as prompted on the Maestro will be the one playing in Astro. And Raffi actually walks over for a flank. He has the shotgun in hand. We're seeing more and more shotgun, I guess, for Pulse more lately as you expect. And Raffi's going way below in the basement for a flank. He needs to make it quick, though, because the last 2 players on site are kind of by himself. Spartak as well on this flank, come back to site. So now there's 3 members on site to try and deny this push in, as it's mainly for Astro. And here goes Raffi getting intel. He shotguns one. Nobody hears a shotgun. Young Alec hears none of it. Behind him is another. He gets both kills. Raffi denies Astro Stairs whatsoever for his team. Prompted with the kill of his own, but he's killed out. Very fragged by Prod. It's now a 3v2 though, so it could be anybody's game at this point.
But here's the issue. You have 3 C4s on the side of Okami. One with in the hands of the Pulse. A triple for Raffi so far. He's got the intel and the utility to make it happen. And it's Prod. This might be one of his maps. But he's in a 1v3. And even for him, that might be a task that's too tall to accomplish. Raffi on Astro Stairs, able to get the intel. But he takes a long angle fight with the M10. Not exactly the kind of weapon suited for that engagement. So he'll just feed Prod further. Prod has also lapped up the diffuser. So he has that in his hands. Exile's a C4. Subarctic does as well. He's rotating downstairs. Prod still has to deal with the mute on the site, but even if he makes it, not only does Okami have intel with that C4, there's not much of a chance of him getting the bomb down. Exile and the rest of Okami, they'll play it safe. A C4 rep doesn't find anything, just as Orgless don't find a round win. Okami get 2 in a row.
No, Okami getting inches and inches closer to going to OT against Orgless. They had a rough start when it came to that first 2 rounds here on defense, but they're bringing it back, figuring things out, wasting time, getting kills on Orgless when it comes to these plays. I will say it was interesting because yeah, they got the first pick, but then Raffi on the Astro Stairs, was just going for a long flank through the basin, making his way to Astro Stairs and denying that Astro take on the side of Orgless. Huge from Raffi that round. We go into dining and kitchen for our next defense from Okami, and they need 2 more rounds. Only 2.
Even then, Orgless only need 1. They just need to win 1 site. But then again, they won AVG and Trophy, and they've now lost both. This is the big X factor. This is the site that neither team or one team has defended, the other team hasn't attacked. So, it's fitting that for potentially the most impactful round of the game, it's on a site that neither team have touched in this half so far. Okami, they're bringing out a Kapkan. Actually, not all that surprising for a kitchen site. If we see Kapkan on any site, on any map in the game, it's actually Kitchen on Villa, where he's still not brought all too often, but he's brought often enough, at least comparatively to every other spot in the game. Likely, in a similar way to mute devices and Mozzie's, just staggered across the map to try and not necessarily deny intel, but just damage and some crosshair displacement. Overall, just some annoyance the attacking team has to deal with as they cut and move their way through the building.
I'm just another utility guy to deal with as you walk in, to be scared of. On walk in, get his rush in.
And also that, when teams rush in the final 30 seconds, they usually forget to check them because of how little he's played. So keep that in mind for you.
Could be something that ends the round right there, but we'll see what Okami does here and what Orgless do, because we've seen this site before from Orgless on their defense half, and it was, on their defense. They play very aggressive on this defense and take fights immediately. And lastly, that first time they defended the site, they were able to take fights within the first 30 seconds and take out 4 members within the first minute. So whether or not, hey, and here we go again, fights within the first 30 seconds, but it's young Alec instead of the defense to win that fight. He'll get the first pick onto WAV and start off a good start. But, even last round was a good start for Orgless, and they end up losing that round too.
Yeah, that's true. Getting the opening pick onto WAV didn't do too much for them last time, but now with some early damage onto Prod because of a C4 won't result in a kill, but will result in some intel wasted. I believe that was a C4 at the very least. I do see 3 still in the hands of the defense, so I'm not entirely sure, but prompted, you'll still equalize, not on any operator, but the hard breach. That specific operator as well, not the most important on Kitchen, but still not something you want to lose if you want to try to open up angles on the site. They do still have plenty in their arsenal to deal with utility like shields or what have you. There is one in the hands of Subarctic, so if any ADSs are guarding it, you can throw out that Thatcher grenade and put it down, but you still have to actually clear that body out. Orgless are stalling out a little bit. They're making the way on forward, but time currently it's starting to work against them as they haven't made much progress beyond this initial control on the south side.
That explosion probably wasn't EED. It was quite interesting on the place, actually.
Oh, true. Kapkan is so rare, even I forgot about it.
Yep, Barring with another kill, though. Barring's just getting kills, walking into Memorial, though. He's taking out 2. Gotcha's made his way into Laundry, and this is quickly turning around. Gotcha sees that. Kapkan device destroys Exile with his own, though. He's fighting back upstairs. He takes out Prod. If they keep control of this top floor, they can try and deny this push onto site as Exile. He doesn't have a shotgun in hand, but he probably can at least make some shots through if he gets intel. Young Alex shots. Oh my god, he still flicks the Subarctic playing behind the kitchen counter. It's now Exile and Prompted to try and take back the site. Young Alec and Gotcha. Gotcha's the only cover for Young Alec, but still, there's a jobs through Prompted one side. This is a split push from the defense. Prompted one to Exile on the other. Exile goes down to Young Alec. That goes down to Prompted, though. It's back and forth. He doesn't see Gotcha's head. Orgless will finish the map. Finish the round, and that's Orgless 7-4.
A good attempted comeback by Okami, but in the end, it was not enough. Orgless, they just looked a bit too strong in that very last round.